Hello and welcome to another video of Budget Builds PH. My name is Russell and this is episode 1 of TechTalk. I will be discussing which Ryzen CPU is best for you, and basically it's a simplified version, a Ryzen buying guide. So before we start, let's start with some terminologies. So X in Ryzen means XFR, and it's basically a faster version of the base model, since there will be base models without the letters beside it. Example, yung Ryzen 5 3600, yun lang. Tapos wala siyang X, wala siyang ano. Yun yung base model. And then if you put X on it, kung may X siya, that means it's a slightly faster version. So parang ganito sa Nvidia. Kung may 1050, may 1050 Ti. Yung Ti yung parang power boost. So basically parang extra power lang yun. Slightly better performance. Also better overclocking. Ang G naman, it means it has integrated graphics such as Vega 3, may Vega 8, Vega 11. That means hindi mo na kailangan bumili ng GPU para mapagana yung Ryzen CPU mo. This is good in terms of the pandemic kasi ang mahal ng GPU prices ngayon. So if you can get a hold of a Ryzen G series, I suggest wag ka muna bumili ng GPU. The Ryzen G series will serve you for now until GPU prices start to lower down. And last, we have E. And E stands for efficiency. Efficient. That basically means it runs on lower power. So if ang TDP is for a normal Ryzen CPU, let's say Ryzen 5. A Ryzen 5 will consume 65 watts. While yung E, it will only consume 35. So basically, kung yung X means slightly more performance, yung E, slightly less performance. But it won't make that much of a difference naman. But at least, you get to save more power. Now that we're done with terminologies, let's now start with Ryzen 3. So ang Ryzen 3, these are already quad-core, and these will already be good for budget gaming and also maybe for streaming and editing as well. These are already quad-core. Kasi yung Athlon, dual-core lang sila, while yung Ryzen 3 is already quad-core. So if you're on a budget, if you don't want to spend too much money, let's say your only budget is around 30k pababa or 25 pababa, pero gusto mo ng Ryzen, so a Ryzen 3 will serve you well already. Overall, Ryzen 3 is a good budget option. Next is Ryzen 5. Ryzen 5 naman is your mid-range. Kung meron ka pang extra budget dyan, it rocks 6 cores and 12 threads. And this is good if you are a mid-range gamer. Kasi ako, tingnan mo, I'm using a Ryzen 5 right now. Ryzen 5 first gen, yung 1600. And ang Ryzen 5, this will be good na for streaming and gaming. Gaming and streaming and gaming. Video editing, this is your mid-range pick. It's a good all-around CPU that can be used for both editing and for gaming and streaming. Conclusion, Ryzen 5, good mid-range option. And if you're on a budget as well, if you can spend a little more than a Ryzen 3, go for the Ryzen 5 na. Next, we have our Ryzen 7. Ito na. Ang Ryzen 7 for me is already high-end. Ang Ryzen 7, it comes with 8 cores already. So if you are a video editor, let's say you do video editing for work, or you're a 3D renderer, or if you want to take content creation to a higher level, Ryzen 7 is your high-end pick. If you want to game, stream, and edit with ease, pwede na to for you. Ryzen 7 is goods na. Ang Ryzen 7 kasi, this is like top tier na for high-end gaming and content creation. Ryzen 7, it's good. I personally ordered a Ryzen 7 5800X because mag-upgrade na ako soon. So there you have your Ryzen 7. You have your 3, your Ryzen 5, and your Ryzen 7. These are all consumer grade products, right? So Ryzen 3, budget, Ryzen 5, mid-range, Ryzen 7, high-end. Let's get to Ryzen 9. Ang Ryzen 9, these are already 12 core up to 16 cores. Ang Ryzen 9, ito yung pang-enthusiast grade na talaga kung madami kang pera. Kasi if I remember correctly, ang Ryzen 9 could go around 28k to 50 na. Basta mas mataas pa, mga 28k pataas. Yan yung Ryzen 9. Mahal na ang Ryzen 9. Ito ang enthusiast grade. If you want to take PC to the next level, mag Ryzen 9 ka na. Get Ryzen 9 if you want the best performance na talaga. And I won't even touch on Threadripper anymore. Threadripper is workstation stuff, you know, like these are big boy CPUs. Like, magkano yung isa? 300k? Wag na. Overall, Ryzen 9, huge performance. So that wraps up the video. Thank you for watching, and if you have any other questions, you can leave your questions down in the comments below. Be sure to leave a like and I will respond to your comments as fast as possible. This has been Budget Builds PH, and thank you for watching.